What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Casual Conversation with Will and Gary. You are listening to episode number 12, and we are stoked about this one. We finally got a guest on the podcast. Yes, you heard that right. We finally got a guest on the podcast, and joining us today was mine and Gary's good buddy, Marcus Miles. Marcus is a super interesting and inspirational guy, and we're really stoked for you guys to listen and hear what he has to say. We talk about a lot of stuff. We talk about where he came from, what he does, what his goals are, what he wants to do with his life. And I think you guys are just going to really enjoy it. So sit back, strap in, and as always, please enjoy the show.
Welcome to the greatest podcast.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back, my
Howdy,
friends. Welcome back, my friends, to Casual Conversation with Will and Gary. Episode, what is it, Gary?
Number 12.
Number 12.
I bet we almost have to scroll now.
On our way to 1 million. That's what we're going for.
Going to 1 million.
1 million episodes.
Yeah, I was thinking more than that, but I mean, if you want to set your standards that low.
Well, we can, I guess.
No, dude, we got a good podcast for you today. We've got a guest.
Our first guest ever.
First guest ever.
I'm excited, man.
He grew up in Clinton, Arkansas. This is Marcus Miles.
What's up, guys?
He's here. I can't believe it. We have a guest.
I know.
So stoked.
So, what we like to do starting out is to ask everybody what they did this week, but I already kind of know what you did this week. I'll let Will ask that question.
Yeah, so, well, to start her off, Marcus, why don't you just give us a little rundown who you are, where you're from, what you're doing right now.
Well, name is Marcus Miles, as y'all just mentioned. Grew up in Clinton, Arkansas, right down Highway 65 from these two folks. Nowadays, just got done with college, fixing to make a big move up to Washington, find me a job as a personal trainer, real big into health and fitness and all that good stuff.
So you said you went to college. Tell everybody what you graduated with.
I got a bachelor's in exercise science.
Ooh.
So
Science.
I know how to exercise.
Scientifically.
Scientifically exercise. No, that's cool, man. So, I guess we'll just start her off. What'd you do this week, Gary?
Well,
Or should I say, what did you and Marcus do this week?
So I worked like my normal thing. I go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then when I got off this Monday at 4 p.m., I went home. For those of y'all that don't know, I had this goal that I made for myself this year that I was going to grow, last year actually.
Yeah, dude, it's a new year.
Yeah, it's 2019. I made this goal that I was going to grow my beard out for a year, and I kept telling everybody I'm going to shave it off January 1st, or December 31st, I guess is what happened. Because I went straight home and I shaved my year's worth of growth off.
Wow.
And after that, Marcus came over and we planned to drive out to Ozark, turn off the interstate, go up Highway 23, known as the Pig Trail scenic route.
Scenic?
We went up, it's about 20 miles or so, to a place called Cherry Bend, which is the start, it's section 3 of this big long trail that we've been hiking in sections. It's called the Ozark Highlands Trail, and it's broken up into 8 sections. So we did section 1 and 2. We've been working on it for a little over a year now, and that was about 20 miles a piece, so 40 miles. We're 40 miles into this thing. And so we wanted to step our game up. We were starting at section 3 at a place called Cherry Bend, and we were going to walk, hike, walking. I mean, it was a lot of walking.
Yeah. Running? Were you running?
No,
up the mountain?
we did not. We did not run. We ran when we had to cross creeks one time because they were really cold and we didn't want to stay in them. But no, we went and we hiked 50 miles. We did section 3 that was 20 miles, and then we did section 4 as well. We just kept on trucking, and it was 30 miles. So we did it in 3 days. So we woke up Tuesday, started out, got 14 miles in. We went Wednesday and got what do we get? We got 21 miles. Yeah, we got 21 miles, man.
Yeah.
And it rained on us.
I was about to say
like all day.
I was about to say I knew you guys were going hiking, and then like every day that you were there, it was like torrential downpour here. I didn't know if it was raining there or not, but
yeah, it rained on us pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, we got wet.
We did get wet. So we went 21 miles the second day, and we were pretty beat. We were pretty beaten down, sleeping. We were a little wet. Had to sleep on the ground, wake up, and got 15 miles staring you in the face.
Yeah.
Or 16 miles
So,
or whatever.
like 20 miles, how long does that take if you're hiking? Like, what's your approximate speed that you're going?
No, Marcus is better at breaking down the time. I didn't have my phone, so I had like no concept
Of course, you didn't have
time.
your phone. You never have your phone.
But Marcus was like kind of pacing our miles. So what do you got about that?
Yeah, so you have to consider we're walking through the Ozark Mountains, so
Yeah.
there is elevation change constantly, either up or down. We're not walking through much level ground. So 20 miles through the Ozarks, just assuming you're in decent shape, that's about 8 hours, maybe 7 hours, 8 hours, a whole day of walking.
Wow. Okay.
That's
I didn't
a lot.
know. I mean, I figured it was a bunch because like I don't know what the average walking speed is, like 4 or 5 miles an hour, and you probably weren't even going that fast. So if you went 20 miles, that's at least 5 or 6 hours. So I mean, 8 hours, that's a long time though.
Yeah. Well, how many hours of daylight is there right now, Marcus?
Sunrise is about 7, sets at 5, so about 10 hours. And we'd every single day wake up, pack up camp, maybe eat a couple Cliff Bars for breakfast and
Yeah.
hit the road. You're walking
All day.
literally the entire day.
Literally the entire
Oh,
day.
man.
We saw some beautiful things though. So section 3 of the Ozark Highlands Trail is like one of the more scenic areas
Yeah.
according to the trail guide that we use. Shout out Tim Ernst.
Yeah, shout
One
out.
day you will
Tim.
listen to this podcast. Or, well, I guess he already does. I don't know. Anyways, shout out Tim Ernst. He has a great trail guide. But one of the places that we went to, and I encourage people to go out and check this place out. It's called the Marinoni Scenic Area. And I'll give you a little description of what it's like. You're walking in a very, very rugged, like just so tight, like a ravine
Yeah.
almost. And it's like bluffs that are moss covered. And
Okay.
and it's just waterfall after waterfall. And you're like walking on the side of it's like they're kind of like a terrace that you're walking on, but you're like on the side of the canyon.
Oh, so like if you fall, you're gonna die.
No. I mean, it's a possibility, but like you would roll down the hill more like it's not like a straight drop. It's just very steep and rugged.
Oh, okay. So
But
it's not like
if you're
on
willing
the
to go
side and it's
out
straight down.
and see, man, it's beautiful though. It blew our minds.
Absolutely.
I'll have to go check it out. Well,
The only
that's a long way out.
times that we really stopped is when we would like get done climbing a hill sometimes, because dudes, I mean, there was one hill that was almost 1,800, or no, it was like 1,300 foot elevation increase over like 4 or 5 miles.
That's hardcore.
It's
And
intense.
it's like
Yeah.
you're just like, when you're walking up a hill, a lot of the times you're what they call a switchback. So you like go up a little bit this one way, and then it kind of cuts back the other way, and you just kind of work your
It's
way
like a
up the
giant
mountain.
snake up the mountain.
Yeah.
And the whole time, you guys are carrying the gear, right? So
Mhm.
like, how much is that weigh? Like 30 pounds, maybe?
Uh,
Maybe not that
about-
much, but
About there. It kindly depends how much water you got on you too.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
We didn't carry as much water as we did in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
Well, see, I was fixing to say we stopped also to purify our water. So we
yeah. I was
stopped by,
about to
like-
ask how because 50 miles, dude, you need a bunch of water, Like
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were just carrying a bunch or if you stopped and
Tell them about the iodine pills that your dad sent us.
Oh yeah, so there's two major ways of purifying your water. One, you can do this fancy filtration method that essentially drips water, which is slow, and when you're trying to knock out 20 miles in a day, it's just not realistic.
Yeah.
So luckily, we happen to have some little iodine pills where all you gotta do is you get your water out the river, and then you just pour a little bit of pills in there, depending on how much you got, and you just shake it up, let it sit in there for about 30 minutes, and it'll purify your water.
Oh, that's dope. I didn't know they had that.
So iodine though is like a deep dark yellow. Like just imagine a very dehydrated person taking a leak. So that's what iodine makes your water look like.
Yeah, so like you drank Cokes all day and then you go take a pee and it's like I'm talking like yellow as mustard.
Yeah, pretty much. So when you let the iodine kind of sit, in which the cool thing about it, you just toss them in, put it in your backpack, and you're walking, and I mean that in itself is shaking it up.
Yeah.
When you think about it, when you're walking and hiking, maybe 30, 45 minutes down the trail, you throw in these what they call PA neutralizing tablets. And so you just throw those in, and it changes the color back to like watercolor. Yeah. And it eliminates the iodine taste.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I was about to ask too if it tasted weird when you put put the pills in it.
It tastes better than Conway water.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Tastes better than no water.
Yeah. I mean, when we filled up though, like it was like very clear water. Like we filled up with some water before, and it was like some floaties.
Yeah.
Quite a few floaties, extra protein in that water.
Yeah.
But this one it's pretty clear, pretty crystal.
Awesome, dude. So like, I mean, I know you guys love hiking and going outside and doing stuff like that, but like, what was the purpose of the hike? Was it just to like get away, de-stress, like revitalize the mind, or like were you just doing it just because it was the next leg of the trail?
So 50 miles in 3 days through rugged country.
That's a lot.
I don't think that de-stress is the right word. I think it's honestly just digging within yourself and seeing your limits. I think that's healthy for you. I mean, I de-stress all the time. You know, I sit and I reflect, and I take moments during the day where I just kind of, sit and be quiet and just think about what's going on in my life and things of that nature. So I de-stress all the time, but sometimes I find it necessary for myself to push my limits and see what I have. Yeah. Because I mean, the most I had hiked in one like go was like maybe it's 20 miles, about 20 miles.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just exceed, like I showed myself like there's so much more in the tank, and that's not just like for hiking. Yeah. That's just like overcoming anything, any type of adversity. Like, I don't know, a very big mentor to me says this all the time. It hardens your mind when adversity comes at you. You're prepared to overcome it. It hardens your mind. That's David Goggins.
Oh yeah, dude.
We've talked about him before.
Yeah, we talk about him all the time. Like, why do you go and like hike, Marcus, and do things that are challenging, like to your mind and your physical state? Like what's your mindset when you're fixing to do stuff like that?
So, in regards to the hiking trip, there's multiple reasons. One, it's just a love for nature, man. It's like I love getting out there. Love Arkansas. Love the Ozarks. Love the amazing things. Just getting out there and getting connected to your roots, man. Getting connected to the natural world. So that's one huge aspect of it. That being said, a 50-mile hike isn't a casual stroll through the woods, right? If I'm trying to just connect and chill, I'm gonna go find a spot to hang out and sit in my hammock. There's other intentions behind this.
Or go climb a wall.
Right. Yeah. A big part of it is similar to what Gary said. For me, it's all about chasing discomfort, pushing those physical and mental limits, doing hard things. Like he said, the longest hike we done was close to 21 miles. So we're going out there and doing literally over double that. So that's going to test you.
Yeah.
For anyone out there that wants to know how hard hiking is, like, go try and hike 20 miles in a day. It's tough. That's taxing. You lay down at night in your tent and
you want to die.
Yeah. It's like, you don't want to do it anymore, man. I wanted to quit so many times on that hike, but you put yourself in a position where you have to do it. It's just kind of like the Grand Canyon trip that Gary and I did a little while back,
which we'll talk about.
You get down to the bottom of that canyon, you don't want to hike back out. If there was a magic elevator, magic teleportation device, dude, you would take it in a heartbeat.
Bro, there is a magic teleportation device. It's known as those donkeys walking up, dude. I was like, I thought about asking those guys that were leading the train of donkeys. I was like, man, I would really consider giving you money to just sit on one of those donkeys, man. Dude, it was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really what I'm saying is I'm chasing discomfort, right? And something I found in my life is that the more uncomfortable I am, the more hard situations I get into, the better my life is. Now, face value, this is extremely counterintuitive, right? It's like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Do hard things, get uncomfortable to have a comfortable life. What? But when you think about it, as David Goggins says, you're callousing your mind. You're becoming a harder individual. If I can go out there and climb out of the Grand Canyon, if I can go do a 50-mile hike in January in the cold, in the rain, if I can overcome that obstacle, I can overcome other obstacles in life.
Yeah.
So it's multifaceted. It's like, yeah, I'm getting out there. I'm enjoying nature, but I'm also training my mind. I'm training my body. I'm going physically, mentally. I'm really spiritually in that I'm connecting with the land. There's just so many benefits to going out and doing things like the things we do.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like what you're saying, like then when you come back home and like not necessarily a physical like trial you go through, I mean, I could see that it'd make it a whole lot easier because you're like, dude, I mean, we literally just hiked 50 miles. Like, this is nothing. Or you go and do something that used to be difficult, but now it's not as difficult anymore because you already did something way harder.
Exactly.
I dig that.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
And I'll tell you this, it'll make you appreciate what you have more. Going through that struggle, going through that discomfort.
Yeah.
Go sleep on the ground while you're wet for 3 days. When you come back, when you do lay down in that soft, cozy bed with your 70-degree room, it's going to be that much sweeter. It's going to be that much nicer.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So talking about sleep and we were talking about the physical aspect of it, like hiking 50 miles. Honestly, which none of it's easy, but the physical aspect to me anyways is easier than the mentality that you have to maintain once you get in your tent and you're hurting, and it's at this time of year like what, 13 14 hours of dark.
Yep.
Because like
it is pretty dark.
You don't have lights. Like, we're so used to coming in and having artificial lights. When it gets dark out there, man, you get in your tent and you're in there for 14 hours, and
Yeah.
it's a mind game, man. It's such a mind game because you're so cold.
Yeah.
You're wet.
Yeah.
It's like 32 degrees outside, almost freezing. It's painful. We were talking about this, and this I encourage someone to maybe not start out. Actually, definitely don't start out with 50 miles. Like we were talking about, if we would have done that we may have died. Anyways, go out for a 10-mile hike, knock out 5 miles, sleep on the ground, knock the other 5 out, and you will understand. It'll make you understand how difficult the mental aspect. You cannot portray the difficulty of that.
Yeah. I saw your Instagram post today, Marcus, and you were talking about how even though you may not be able to do something as well or as long as somebody else that's difficult, you can always start. And even though you might not do it for an extended period of time like they do, or to the degree that they do, you still start. And you were talking about how you always have to keep just constantly improving little by little. So he'd use the example of a cold shower. So I assume you take cold showers?
I don't really take cold showers too often now. I go jump in cold creeks.
Okay.
Right, cold showers are too easy for me at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I will if I don't have a creek around.
Yeah, I got you. Like for me though, a cold shower sucks. Like it's terrible. So you were saying how just try it for like 30 seconds and then maybe the next time you go for 45 seconds and maybe the next time you go for a minute. So that was really cool to me how we can still do the same thing and feel the same thing. We're just doing it on a different level.
Absolutely, man. It's all about progression. It's all about having that growth mindset. See, a super big problem that I've struggled with in the past, that most people struggle with, is comparison, right?
Yeah.
We see other
Yeah.
people doing great things, and we're like, why can't we be like that person? Why can't we be on that same level? Well, look, man, you haven't been doing it as long. I've been taking cold showers for years.
Yeah.
So I can go hop in a fresh spring water hole and sit there for 5 minutes, freezing my butt off and be all right with it. Whereas someone else, that's going to break them down. We get stuck in these games of comparison. So instead of looking at where other people are at, look at where you're at. Yesterday, I was in the cold shower for 0 seconds. Today, 30 seconds, that's a huge improvement. And that's something you should be proud of and happy about.
Yeah.
Try and compare yourself to who you were yesterday rather than some other person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
Think of the progression, like, of being in school. Like, it's not better or worse to be a second grader as opposed to an eighth grader. An eighth grader's just been in school longer, and that's where they are. And
Yeah,
that's where
that
the
makes
second
sense.
grader is.
Yeah.
So that's how you should look at it, as your progression on your playing field, not everybody else's.
Yeah. I got you. So anyway, final thoughts on the hike, Gary. Let me say this. What's the one thing that you took away from it that you value the most? Or not value the most, but that struck home with you the most?
So do you know the saying, damned if you do, damned if you don't?
Yeah.
Me and Marcus had a really, really good conversation about, we're at a point in our life, we both just graduated college, and we have paths that we can choose to go down. Particularly, like, do we want to go out and enjoy things, still make a living, but go and learn and keep growing in different areas? Or do we really want to pursue our career, like, and go really hard in it right away? Like, so do you want to go and do a bunch of personal growth, or do you really want to go and lock in? And both of them are good. So we got to talking about that, and the damned if you do, damned if you don't came up. And we honestly decided that we feel like we're in a place where it's blessed if you do, blessed if you don't.
Yeah, because you got like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and that's not individual to us. If you are out there and you have two or more options that you could go down, it's your decision on whether or not you look at it as damned if you do or blessed if you do.
Yeah.
Like, it's all your mindset.
Yeah,
So,
something I like to say is you don't make the right decisions in life. You make your decisions right.
Okay.
say that again for
Say that-
Will.
say that one more time.
Y'all chew on this. You won't make the right decisions in life. But what you must do is make your decisions right.
Yep.
I'm chewing on it pretty hard.
If it's right to you and you feel like that's what you feel called to do, then do it. Don't look back on it and say, "Oh, I had these decisions. Did I make the right decision?" Make it right to you. I get what you're saying.
I get it. It's all coming together. The wires weren't connecting together at first, but now they're kind of zapping, They're kind of zapping. So,
Oh man, It was good. It was good. What you didn't ask Marcus? What was his favorite thing?
Gary, when I'm asking a question, I'm giving it to the room.
Marcus, what was
well,
your?
I guess I did kind of ask you directly, but
What was the thing that you took out of the hike the most?
I really value a warm bed. Man.
for sure.
Yeah, like yeah, there's no huge takeaways. It just makes you appreciate things. Like I said earlier, man, there's nothing like having a car for transportation.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right, you'll drive 50 miles
In no time.
in less than an hour and not even thinking about it. You know, go walk 50 miles. That took us 3 days. Like it took us 3 days, man. It just makes you appreciate the things we take
those
for
were
granted.
a hard 3 days, dude. That 21-mile day, we felt like we were gonna die.
Oh, I
Yeah.
felt like death. I felt like death at the end of the day.
That'd have been a bad deal. See you on the news. Buzzards flying over you.
No, so we want you to kind of get on this story that you want to tell to the audience.
All right. So for you who do not know me, I just recently got back from an adventure down in Florida. An adventure.
You can catch it all on Instagram. Go follow him at King Merk.
That's
King
right.
Merk.
Shout out King_Merk, MERK. That's what my friends call me, by the way. My name's Marcus, but you can call me Merk.
Merky Merk.
Merk, Merkel, Merkley, whatever you want.
So for 3 months down in Florida, I was semi-homeless. I was living in a box I built in the back of my truck. So
A box. I've never heard you put it that way.
soak that up. Yeah, it's a box when you think about it.
It really is.
It's a wooden box. I built it out of 2x4s and plywood. Like it's kind of like a big doghouse. You know?
Yeah, dude, the doghouse. Who's in the doghouse? Marcus.
Yeah.
So you're probably wondering why. So in order to give you some reference to the story, I'm going to go back in time and give you some background information as to what led to this, because this doesn't just happen. You don't just end up living in a box you built in the back of your truck in Florida overnight.
You don't just jump in the doghouse. You got to have a reason.
So something about me is I grew up with a military father. I love him to death, but he was not around a lot as a child. So because of that, when I was young, I sought out masculine mentor figures. And there was a bit of a shortage of masculine figures that really resonated with me growing up in my area. So what I went to was this beautiful thing we have called the internet, right? And through the internet, I came across a man named Elliot Hulse. Now, to explain Elliot he's most famous for being a YouTuber. He has a YouTube channel with 2 million subscribers, has another YouTube channel with almost 1 million. Check it out. It's called Strength Camp. He's also a gym owner, which is called Strength Camp, which is where I was working down when I was in Florida. Elliot is a retired professional strongman, former collegiate football player. He's an entrepreneur. He has multiple businesses. Nowadays, he's a multimillionaire, right? Great guy. So to give you some background on him, when I was about 15 years old or so, I started getting interested in the world of fitness, right? At 15, I was probably about 6'3", 140, to give you an idea. I was a beanpole, right? I shot up fast, but I was very skinny for a long time, so I suffered with insecurities, over my self-image. So I said, I've got to make a change. I've got to get buff, right?
Yeah,
That'll get me girls, right?
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure.
That'll
No
get
doubt.
me all the things I want at 15 years old. So I go on YouTube and I start seeking fitness advice, and that's when I come across Elliot. And he has lots of great videos talking about how to work out, how to bodybuild, how to become a better athlete. And that was great. And that initiated my love and passion for fitness, which for y'all that don't know, I've been a personal trainer for the last 2 years, just graduated with a degree in exercise science, right? This has been a constant for the last about 10 years of my life. So something else Elliot did is he is an integrator of many different things. Elliot, what makes him stand out, the reason why he has 2 million subscribers on YouTube is because he isn't your average Joe personal trainer. He integrates the higher ideas. He integrates spirituality, philosophy, education, all of the psychology, all of these different ideas into weight training, into performance, into athletics, right? And this really drew me in and opened up my mind and made me start thinking about things on a deeper level, right? So he was really a foot in the door for a lot of things in my life. And I continued to watch his videos and develop and grow over time until about roughly a year ago or so, I was attending, he also has these things called grounding camps, which are, to keep things short, meditation camps.
Okay.
So I was attending a meditation camp of his, and I was talking to Elliot, and I'm like, man, I'm a personal trainer. At this time, I'd been a personal trainer for about a year.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I love fitness. I love strength camp. I love your gym. I love what y'all got going on. Strength camp, just so y'all know, it's not your commercial gym.
Yeah.
It's a very hard, gritty gym.
Yeah. Do they have them all over the country?
So located right now, they're in 3 countries. There's about 20 something worldwide.
Okay.
This is a gym that Elliot started in the back of his van. He used to train people at a park. This man went from literally being over $100,000 in debt to now he's a multimillionaire with a worldwide gym chain. Like, he is the guy, right?
He's the man.
Yeah.
For sure.
I have the utmost respect for this man. So about strength camp. Strength camp is all about strongman techniques. So for y'all that don't know what strongman is pretty much the roughest side of weightlifting. It's all about picking up heavy Atlas stones, so big old concrete balls, right? It's about flipping tires. It's about carrying yokes, which are these heavy bars, put 2,000 pounds on your back and walk with it.
Yeah.
Very hardcore type of training.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what strength camp's all about. That's kind of the environment we have. So I'm like, man, I love this. I love the grittiness y'all have going on. I love fitness, obviously. How do I work there? How can I come to strength camp and be a part of this? And Elliot says, go onto the website and apply. I was like, oh my God.
Is that easy?
Whoa. Like that's crazy. He's like, they have a internship program. You just go on the website and apply. It's that simple. I'm like, oh, hell, man, that's awesome. Okay, I'll do that.
Sure, dude.
Yeah. So anyways, I go through the application process. It's super competitive. They only take 2 interns at a time quarterly, so roughly eight interns a year or so.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even sure if I would get in or not, but sure enough, do a couple interviews, blah blah blah, and they're like, bam, I want y'all to come in, or I want you to come in. I want you to intern for us. I'm like, awesome, that's
Sick,
great,
dude.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So part of where I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone is part of the curriculum for my degree in exercise science that I just got requires me to do an internship.
Oh, okay.
So this is early 2018 when this is all happening. I got accepted, and I'm like, look, guys, let's hold off. They wanted me to go down there early while I was still in school. I'm like, look, guys, thank you so much for accepting me. Let me set up my semester right so that I can get done with all my classes. And then this previous fall semester, right, I said I just graduated college, the only class, quotes, I was in is my internship.
Oh, okay, I got you now.
So while I was currently enrolled in UCA, I was doing my internship. So I was down in Florida. So anyways, blah, 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 get accepted to the internship. So big problem. I'm a broke college student. This is an unpaid internship.
Okay.
I'm like, gosh, like, how am I going to make this work? 3 months in Florida, living by myself, unpaid job. It's like, this is going to be hard. I just being blunt, I didn't have the money to go down there, get an apartment, to pay bills, utilities, and all that.
I was about to say, like, what were the So like you probably couldn't have another job while you were doing that. It was probably most of the day you were there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was working essentially full time. I mean, I was
yeah,
at the gym
yeah.
all day long.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you now. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a huge commitment. So I get to thinking, and I'm like, I had a few ideas come and go. I thought about like being straight up homeless and like living on the beach and stuff. Big problem with that, I just so happened to be doing my internship during hurricane season in Florida.
Yeah.
So yeah, can't do that. So I continue to formulate ideas, and I'm like, what if I build a house in the back of my truck? And I tell my friends that, and they're like, dude, you're crazy. Like, what do you mean build a house? I'm like, bro.
Hey man, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean-
so I did have some supporters.
I mean that's a cool idea. I can see how someone would think it's a cool idea, and how someone could say you were crazy.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I understand 100%.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I think it is crazy, but I mean, I still think it's cool. You know?
Yeah.
I'll give it to the doubters. Maybe I'm a little bit crazy. So I research it, right? I use this beautiful thing we have called the internet, and I research building a house in your truck, right? And go figure, there's literally a book written on how to build a house in the back of your truck.
That's crazy.
I buy the book, I read the entire thing. I researched it for a couple months. This wasn't something I did overnight. This is something I really, really thought out, created a blueprint, got all the measurements, messed with different models of structures and whatnot, found me a good blueprint I wanted to do, and then it was time to, build the thing. So really it's a simple layout. I drilled a few holes in the bed of my truck, bolted in a frame of 2x4s, essentially. I mean, that's all it is. And then screwed it in plywood, attached it to it.
There you go.
Got flat roof, flat walls, got a door in the back. It's literally a giant box. And I said, I'm going to live in this for 3 months during August in Florida. No AC, no electronics. I didn't have no electronics in there, nothing.
Dang.
And guess what? I told you this before you went down there. I said, "Where's the vents at? Where's the vents at? You're gonna need some ventilation." No, man, no, I don't need no vents. I don't need no vents. Okay.
Yeah, so one thing about me, I've never shied away from discomfort. I thought I could handle it. I was like, yeah, I don't need ventilation. I'm good. So I go down there, and I forget what they're called, but those heat boxes that they would throw prisoners in back in the day when they acted up. Like, This is literally what I built for myself.
I was about to say, dude.
If you've never lived in Florida, in August, it gets down to maybe 87 at night, 86.
A balmy 87.
Guarantee you. Now consider this. I'm in an enclosed box with my body heat microwaving out. I guarantee you
Built-in oven.
100% that it was 90 plus in that box at night. The first 3 nights, I really doubted myself. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. This is what I did to stay cool at night, to be able to sleep. I had a cooler, right, where I'd keep my food and stuff. I would dip my sheet into the ice cooler, soak my sheet, and then put it down and lay on my sheet. And it was cool enough that I could fall asleep for a few hours. And then I'd wake up covered in sweat and have to repeat the process.
Dude, sounds terrible.
It was god awful.
Terrible.
It was bad. So 3 days in, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, I've got to get some sort of relief. I made a buddy with some power tools. Drilled. I made some ventilation in it and got a battery operated fan. So we went from 90 degrees at night to 85.
There you go.
But
the
that's a big difference.
The humidity is what you lowered the humidity. There was no, like, your perspiration, nothing was leaving your truck.
Yeah, it made it bearable. It made it bearable. I slept in a pool of sweat for 3 months straight, every single night, dude. I suffered so hard, man. It was gruesome. It was gruesome. Absolutely. And on top of that, I'm showering at the gym. All my food I'm cooking is on a Coleman propane grill.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I didn't use it as an excuse, like, to be unhealthy. I ate almost an entirely organic diet. I ate lentils and rice and turkey every single day that I cooked on my grill.
Yeah.
Like it worked out. I was in a great position, albeit uncomfortable, but I've honestly never been happier in my life, because I know you're hearing me like talk about how I'm sweating, sleeping my sweat every night, having to cook off a grill, having to shower at a gym, right? Essentially being homeless. But those are some of to this day, some of the best times of my life, because I'm working at my dream job, right? My dream gym. I'm developing myself as a trainer. I'm learning and growing every single day, and I'm living in an absolutely beautiful city, which is St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience, really.
Dude, that's legit. Like, so how did you obviously had your phone, I assume.
Yeah.
Did you charge it during the day and then just not have a charger at night, or?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So like when you went to the
yeah.
gym, you just like charge all your stuff there?
Yeah, dude, I would have like a little corner where I'd like plug my laptop in, plug my phone in, and just kind of steal electricity from the gym.
Okay, I got you. I was about to say, like, man, that's crazy. I didn't know. I knew that you had done that, but I didn't know all the details about it.
Yeah,
So-
and on top of that, this is a warehouse gym. Like I said, this isn't a commercial gym, so we don't have AC in the gym. Like, I'm in the heat 24 hours a day. Yeah, it actually got pretty comfortable, where I'd sleep and it'd be 80 at night, and I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, bro. The day he came back is the day that it snowed. Like
Yeah.
the day he got back, it was snowing, and he was like,
Dude, you probably about
Get
froze.
this.
He was
Get this.
freezing.
I leave Florida in shorts and a tank top. It's 87 degrees. I roll up in Arkansas. It's like 30 and snowing. My body was like, what the hell is going on? I was so confused, dude.
Oh man.
Shriveled up like a prune.
And honestly, I just remembered this. When he got back, we were still training for the marathon, and we went on like a 6.5 mile run in the snow.
Yeah.
Had to
And it
warm
was
back up, son.
It was amazing. It was amazing. It's so much easier coming down here running. I was so used to running in 90 degrees with the heat beating down on
I didn't
me.
even think about that. That's true. The whole time you were there, you were training for the marathon.
So
I did
so
too.
yeah, on
I
top
forgot
of
about that.
on
yeah.
top of that, I'm running 30, 40 miles a week in the sun. Like I literally sweat 24/7.
So yeah, you had a membership to a rock climbing gym. You trained for that. You helped people train during the day at strength camp. You trained.
Yeah.
You got with some dude with an
Actually,
MMA.
I joined an MMA gym
Yeah.
while I was down there. So I
that's pretty
literally
sick.
I worked out 3 to 4 times a day, every single day. All I did, I went from gym to gym to gym. I was at strength camp. I was at our MMA gym. I was at the rock climbing gym, or I was out running for a marathon.
Dang, son.
Tell
I
tell
grinded.
That's
everybody
legit.
about how you got the means that you got to be a part of the MMA gym, because I mean you had to,
Yeah.
that's not a free thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been curious in MMA, right? I think that's just cool, like the combat,
Yeah.
the combat aspect of you being against another individual. And I remember back in high school, me and some of my buddies, we used to box for fun. You know, nothing ill intended, just fun. Go out in the cow field, get the boxing gloves out, go, knock each other around a little bit, then get drunk at night so you don't hurt anymore. That's tell you a little bit about my childhood. So I always had fun doing that. It was a great time, and it's something that I wanted to pursue further. And I was like, heck, I'm down in St. Pete. There's a MMA gym literally a mile down the road from strength camp. I'm gonna go check them out. So they offer a free class. I go in there. I go through it. I do a Muay Thai class.
Oh, that's
Which
cool.
is all about punching, elbows, kicking, knees, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, I do a jiu-jitsu class, which is all about essentially
Like rolling.
submitting your opponent. Yeah, it's
yeah. So it's kind of like, it's not wrestling. It's like grappling, I guess, kind of.
kind of.
no.
Wrestling's more grappling.
Okay.
So
okay.
this is more on the ground, like
contorting the
arm
body,
locks.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, all that
Contorting
kind of
the other
stuff.
person's
So
body.
I go through. So I train for 2 hours, right? I do both of those classes, and I had a great time. I loved it, dude. It was scary. Jiu-jitsu is scary. I will tell you that. I I'll go into that in a second, but jiu-jitsu will get you so uncomfortable. Anyways, I go through my 2 classes, have a great time, and I'm sitting there talking to the gym owner after class, and they know I work for Strength Camp, so we're all talking, blah, 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 and he's asking me how I like the classes. I'm like, man, I love it. Like, I love it. I've had such a great time. And I tell him my story. I tell him, yeah, you see I box out in the parking lot. That's my home. that's my home. That's where I live. And I'm like,
That's where I take the ladies.
I'm like, man, I would love to continue to train here, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm working an unpaid internship, living in the back of a truck. I don't have the financial means to pay $150 a month for a membership here. And he says, you know what? I'll help you out. He says, I'm always willing to help out a fellow doer of life. He said, come in when no one's training about 2 times a week and clean the place up, pretty much be our janitor. You can train here for free.
Sick, dude.
I look him in the eyes. I say, fuck that. I'll train your gym. I'll clean your gym 3 times a week for your free membership. Shook his hand and had a great time, man. He was an excellent teacher, and now I feel like I can semi-fight. I got choked out by a bunch of 12-year-olds while I was down there. But it was great, man. It was great. It shows you the power of being vulnerable. Just follow in your heart. Like I knew going into that free membership, I wouldn't have or free training day, I wouldn't have the money to pursue it further. I was just shooting my shot, seeing what had happened. Yeah. And I didn't have to be vulnerable and tell this man how I live in the back of a truck and how I'm broke and don't have money. But I showed my true colors there, and it worked out.
Yeah. I think that's awesome, man. Because I'm guilty of that too. Especially, you never want to tell other people about your vulnerable places. You never want to tell somebody, yeah, like, dog, I ain't got no money. Like, that's the worst. Yeah. Like, when I was young, I always hated having to tell someone that I couldn't do something because I wasn't able or didn't have the means to do something. So I respect that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
What you made me think of with that is like you didn't have to tell him, but you felt led to just kind of like put yourself out there. There was something there. And that's kind of the whole like logic versus intuition. Like it's not logical for you to be like, yo man, like I'm broke and I don't have the means to actually pay for this, or even you going in there and doing it. Was it a free session that you got? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
it was a free session. Yep. And to even entertain the idea that you might be able to get a membership.
Yeah, like I didn't know what would happen.
Exactly.
I just knew I wanted to try it out.
Yeah. So like it may not have made sense to do that, but you just kind of felt it and went after it. So
yeah, this is what
awesome.
What I gather is you didn't have expectation going in to even get a membership. You just went in
but
just
you
because
felt
led. Just because you thought it was cool. You want to try it out. So
yeah, man. That's why it's so cliche, but I love the saying, "Follow your heart." Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to make sense, the path, the choice you make, but we all have a inner voice. Call it your heart, call it your intuition. Around here, a lot of people like to call it your gut feeling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a voice inside of you that, whether it makes sense or not, knows what is right. And what you must do as a person is hear that voice as clearly as possible and let it lead you through life.
Yeah. That's very, very true. You've got that intuition, and you also have what I see people tend to do a lot of times is they get very heady, they get very neurotic, and they want to rationalize everything. They want to put logic behind everything, and that's good. Like that's very useful. Logic is a good thing. Like making sense out of stuff. Like that's a very, very powerful tool. But I feel like culturally, there's a skewed balance between following your heart and like what you feel, as opposed to like what makes sense. It doesn't make sense to maybe in this culture, anyways. It doesn't make sense to take losses financially to do something that doesn't have a like for sure benefit, but you feel led to do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works out, man. I feel like if you follow and you are in tune with that voice, you'll do exactly what you were meant to do.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say something about that. It's like, I don't remember what I was going to say. It'll come to me in a second. I had it on the tip of my brain, but it just left. So, okay. Yeah, dude, I remember what I was going to say. I was going to say, you remember what your mom used to tell you back in the day? She used to say, there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time for being logical, and there's a time to step over that and then just do whatever you're feeling.
Yeah. And see, I don't necessarily...
To an extent. I'm not saying do whatever you're feling, don't do something bad.
I don't think it's necessarily like intuition over logic. I think it's a balance. It's like
It's a
balance
dance.
between the two. Like you have to be logical.
Yeah, a good waltz.
Like, for example, Marcus living in the back of his truck. He followed his heart. He knew he had to do that, but he also knew he had to have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
He had to go and build a blueprint. He had to be logical about how he was actually going to make it work.
Yeah.
So I think it can be skewed the other way as well. Like you can be like, oh, I feel so led to do this, but not like, oh, it's just gonna work out. It's just gonna work out.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have faith that it's gonna work itself out.
Yeah, and that's true. Some things do work out. I wouldn't say to the extent of you just moving somewhere and living in a truck, but smaller things may work out like that. But most of the time, I'd say you need a good mesh together between the.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like Marcus said, it's a dance. It's a very, very balancing act type thing.
I dig that.
So basically, to cap off that topic, follow your heart, but listen to like the logical side of you too.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So you said you did the internship, Marcus. You came back. So now that you're back, what's your plan for the next? Not even necessarily a couple years, but what are you going to do now that you finished the internship and you said you're moving to, or did you say that already?
Washington.
Washington,
as my grandma says. Yeah, so I came back. Had a few big things planned that I've done over the last month and a half since I got back. One being graduating college.
Yeah.
Right. The other one being the marathon Gary and I ran, which was pretty epic. Ain't been running much since.
We've been walking a lot though.
Yep. So besides that, wanted to come back, spend the holidays with my family. Got back for Thanksgiving. Got to catch up with everyone. Got to see the family over Christmas. My little brother who lives up in Washington just flew in. Been catching up with him. So this last month has kind of been enjoying myself a little more. I mean, I'm still grinding and I'm still doing 50-mile hikes and running a marathon. But for the most part, it's a big step back from living in the back of a truck.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm taking it easy for my standards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why you get uncomfortable. Excuse me. That's why you get. Quit laughing at me, Will. That's why you get uncomfortable when you put yourself in discomfort. You raise that threshold for what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
You become more comfortable in the face of discomfort, and it's so counterintuitive, but you find happiness that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. So the next big move, I'm going to hang out here in Arkansas, right? Christmas done happened, New Year's, all that. So I got about a couple more weeks, and then I'm moving up to Washington State. So as I mentioned earlier, my dad's been in the military my entire life. He's stationed up in Washington right now.
Okay.
And that's also where my little brother's living. So I've decided I love Arkansas, man. Born and raised, I love this land, but I need out.
Yeah.
I need a change of scenery. I need to be exposed to new ideas, new perspectives, and overall just a new atmosphere, new place, man. So moving up to Washington, gonna go move in with my dad, go find a job up there as a trainer, and explore the mountains up there, the Pacific Northwest, and see what it has in store for me.
Dude, that's awesome.
Hopefully it doesn't have a bear attack in store for you. There's them bears up there's a lot bigger than the ones down here.
A lot bigger, yep.
So are you just gonna do personal training while you're up there, or?
that's where I'm gonna start. I love, as I've said, I have a deep passion for fitness, for helping people live healthier lives. So I'm definitely gonna start with personal training, but I feel called to do more than that. It's going to evolve into something more holistic, right? I'm starting right now with the physical body, but I want to get to a point where I'm working with people's mental states as well. I'm helping their psychology, their mindsets. What that end picture looks like, I can't tell you. I don't know. Right now, I'm just taking things one step at a time, following my heart while also thinking about it.
There you go.
Right. And just seeing what happens. And I've never been happier.
Man, that's legit. That's awesome, dude.
Too legit to quit.
Too legit to quit. But yeah, dude, that's awesome.
No, dude, I kind of want you to speak on your passion for exercise a little bit, and not only that, like give the audience a little bit of maybe advice or some motivation or something that may have inspired you to do what you do. I mean, you're a trainer. Give them something.
Yeah. So the one of the biggest things is you ain't happy if you're sick. Think about it. Just think about it. You ain't happy if you're sick. If you're in pain, if you're hurting, whatever, like you're just not going to be happy. So health is one of those foundational pillars that we all must have. If your health is off, literally everything else in your life will be thrown off. And a big part of health is moving the body, is exercise, right? There are also more components to it, such as nutrition, sleep, as y'all have talked about. My niche, the area where I really excel, is through movement of the body. I love looking at the body and how it moves, and helping people just do getting in their bodies, right? It feels good to go out and get a run. It feels good to get a good workout in.
That's honestly one of the 7 types of intelligence, is the kinesthetic intelligence, and you're obviously pretty kinesthetically intelligent.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, fitness is huge. I'm gonna be honest, I forget what the question was. What am I talking about?
Oh, no, you're giving the audience something. You talked about your passion. Now give the audience something to chew on, as far as like whether they're getting into fitness or they've been into fitness for a little bit. Like give the audience something.
Okay, cool. So when people want to change their bodies, say you want to lose 30 pounds, say you want 6-pack abs, say you want to jump higher, run faster, whatever it may be, we always focus on our physical selves. We focus on the body. I can tell you this right now, the body, the physical self, is a direct reflection of the mind, of the mental self. If you want to change physically, you have to first change yourself mentally. And that's facts. All right. So what I tell people is you have to decide to adopt a growth mindset. There's a really popular concept in psychology called the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. Unfortunately, a lot of people walk around with what's called a fixed mindset. They believe in things such as innate talent. So they believe you are the way you are and you're kind of stuck there.
Yeah. Okay.
Gary's a good musician because he's born like that.
Okay.
Will's good at talking and articulating ideas and doing podcasts because he's born like that. I'm good at athletics because of genetics, right? And while there is a genetic component, a more powerful mindset to come from is a growth mindset, which is the more accurate mindset. Growth mindset individuals believe that you are the way you are because you've chosen to be that way. Gary's good at guitar because he's chosen to put the time in and grow as a musician.
Okay. Yeah,
right? You're not fixed where you are now. You can always choose to grow. So that's huge. Realizing that you have control over the situation and that you are where you are because you choose to be. Okay. Many people like to play the victim in life and forego their power, kind of blame external circumstances. Blame your mama, blame your family, blame your job, blame literally anything and everything under the sun as to where you're at, instead of taking responsibility yourself for where you're at. You control your life. And that's the biggest thing is changing that mindset to realizing I choose to be the way I am. So I help people take their power back, take control of their life again. And then through that, things like slimming up, having a healthier body, things like eating better, things like being a better husband, a better girlfriend, a better whatever, they happen naturally. As you grow and develop as a person, your life is just going to get better.
Okay. I gotcha. So I'll use you as an example. For somebody listening that they're like, okay, I dig that, but it's just hard for them to get motivated, I guess. How do you motivate yourself whenever you really don't want to do something? You know what I mean? Because they can have the mindset, but still in the back of their head, they're kind of doubt, and they just don't have that extra oomph to get them over the edge. How do you motivate yourself?
Guess what, y'all? Motivation's bullshit. That's your problem. That's one of your problems right there is you're focusing on motivation. You're only doing things when you feel like doing them. It's easy to go out on that run when you feel good. It's easy to be a good boyfriend when you're happy, when you're in a good mood. How are you when you come home from a long, hard day of work?
Yeah.
And your girl says something that bugs you a little bit. You know, how do you respond to that?
It's when discipline kicks in.
So what's more important than motivation? Much more important is discipline. Discipline, being able to do something even when you don't feel like it, right? Discipline, you break down the word discipline, it means to decide. It is a 100% commitment, a decision to move in a particular direction, right? So discipline is a muscle, right? It's something that has to be developed. That's why we tell you not to start on a 50-mile hike, not to start with 5 minutes in the creek, because you probably don't have the discipline to even do that in the first place. You've got to grow mentally to even get to that spot. So what I have people do is start small, right? Just like with weight training, if you want to get a bigger chest, you don't start off bench pressing 300 pounds because that's going to crush you.
Literally, you'll be crushed.
You start with the bar. You start small, and then you progress. So I tell people, do you brush your teeth every day? Do you make your bed every day? Do you take a shower every day? Right? You start with small, easy tasks. Right? You can't tell me you ain't got the discipline to make your bed every morning. You can't tell me you ain't strong enough to brush your teeth. Right? You start small with these easy tasks and then slowly work your way up. Okay? So say you make your bed, you brush your teeth, you tell your girl that you love her and have a good day every day when you leave the house. You got this easy stuff. Then you kick it up a notch. Okay, maybe every morning I wake up, I pump out 30 push-ups. Maybe I drink 8 glasses of water every day. Right? Activities that are slightly harder, but still, still relatively easy.
Yeah.
And then it's just a simple progression. So from there, say, okay, I've been doing 30 push-ups every single morning. I'm going to get a gym membership. I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. Once you get that down, once you have the discipline to go to the gym 3 times a week, you say, okay, I'm going to go 4 times. Or I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a podcast once a week. I'm going to play guitar for 15 hours a week, right? And cut that up however you want. And you see how you slowly add on more and more, just like with a barbell. When you start off with the bar, you slowly add on plates, right? First workout, you're doing the bar. You're doing 45 pounds. Maybe in a week, you're doing 55. You throw on some plates. A year from now, maybe you're doing 135. You got them big 45 pounders.
Hey.
5 years from now, you might be doing 300. It's the same thing with life. You have to just slowly add on tasks. And super important to be realistic where you're at. Maybe you do need to start with brushing your teeth every day. There's no shame in that. As Gary said earlier, I ain't better than you because I'm an 8th grader and you're a 3rd grader. I'm just ahead of you on my journey. Right?
Yeah.
So don't judge yourself, but be honest with yourself. That's another thing. We all want to live in fantasy land and act like we're better than what we are. A lot of people lack humility.
Yeah, that's true. I'm guilty of that for sure.
Yeah.
I think, I think everybody can be guilty of that to some extent. You think, well, it's easy. I'll say this. It's easy to look at somebody else that's doing less than you and say, oh, dude, I'm good,
Mm-hmm.
But then it's always humbling to look at somebody else doing more than you. And then you're like, oh, wow, yeah, I'm really not doing that much.
Yeah. So it goes back to the comparison game. I can find 100 people out there that I'm smoking, that I look way better than. Then I can find 100 people that are way ahead of me that make me feel bad about myself. Neither of those situations are very beneficial to you.
Yeah.
It's who am I today in comparison to who I was yesterday, last week, last month, last year. And it's that simple. If you're better than you were yesterday, awesome. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, man.
Yeah, so exercising that discipline, kind of connecting what we were saying a little bit earlier, it just you raise that threshold as you become more disciplined and able to take on more tasks, as you were saying. You raise that threshold. You get, like we were saying earlier, more comfortable with that discomfort. And especially when it's beneficial things that you're doing. Because exercise, nobody is going to argue with you that exercise is bad for you.
All right, please try. That'd be an easy
and
one.
So if you do and you raise this threshold in healthy ways, you're not only becoming happy, like achieving happiness, but you're also benefiting your body. It's like it just goes hand in hand.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, you're
Why
blessed
not?
if you do, blessed if you don't.
Yeah.
But if you don't work out, you won't be blessed. No, I'm just kidding.
If you don't work out, you won't be jacked.
Like Will.
Shut up, bro. I was trying to think, what's that? Jocko, what does he say? He says,
Good.
yeah. He's like, I saw one video. It was so cool. He's like, find the discipline and then implement the discipline. Dude, I was like, I about ran 10 miles after that. He fired me up, but I think that's my problem in a lot of things is it takes something for me to get going, which what you just said, that, man, I was just soaking that in, dude. That was like I was reading a book or something. That was awesome. How you have to shift the mind and not just get fired up for stuff, get an external factor to get your motor running, baby. You got to turn the key yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You gotta be self-driven.
You need to
A
go.
Tesla.
You need to go
Self-driven.
you need to go on a 10-mile run, Will. It'll change your life.
Dude, I should. Dude, dude, I'm stoked right now.
Got you fired up.
Yeah. But, dude, no, I just need to run around the block. Chill out, Gary. I just need to run around the block. You didn't listen
You're
to what he said?
You're right. It's a muscle. Gotta raise that threshold.
My wife would love it if I made the bed every day. I need to start doing that. No kidding, dude. You said that, that shook me right there. I was like, ooh.
You can't tell me you don't have enough time to make your bed, Will.
Bro, I got time to make the bed. That made me, that cut me deep right there, son.
Cut me deep,
I'm not even
Shrek.
kidding, though. You know what I mean?
You got anything else for him?
Anything else? What else I got?
Well, I've got something for him if you don't.
I mean, I have something for him. It's really kind of further in, though.
Okay. Well,
If you got some more ideas,
I've got two more things to talk about with you, Marcus, and I want you to kind of elaborate. For those of y'all that don't follow Marcus on Instagram, he pumps out videos all the time, and I kind of want him to extend on why he started doing that, what you've gained from it, what you've learned from it. Just kind of talk about putting yourself out there on social medias.
Social medias.
Yeah, the old Instagram. So I'm a coach, right? My profession is to motivate people, is to inspire people, is to help people grow. That's kind of just what I do. And that isn't something I just do for money, right? It's something I enjoy doing. I genuinely enjoy. I will happily give you my time and energy to help you grow and develop as a person. And that is so evident on my Instagram page. Check it out, king_Merk_. I'm constantly just trying to provide value to people. So the way I view my journey is I used to be a nobody, man. I used to be a miserable, depressed, skinny little teenage boy. Honestly, the only reason why I'm where I am today is because I had enough pain to decide I had to make a change. All right,
And you had mentors like Elliot Holtz,
yes,
Chris
yes.
Barnard.
So
things of that nature.
what is essential to help you get from point A to point B, to get from this skinny, scared teenager to this badass sitting in front of you?
I can attest, he is.
It's important to be confident in yourself. Is mentors, as Gary just said. You need people to help guide you along the way, to help shine light on the situation, right? To help, because they've been through the same thing. So that's all I do with my Instagram is I see people in similar situations to that of ones I used to be in, and I'm like, man, back then I really wish I'd have known this. I really wish I'd have had this perspective, this nugget of wisdom. So I make videos about everything and anything. I'll make posts sometimes and just write. I'm always pumping out and sharing tools that have improved my life and that I hope can help to improve yours. Yep.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
I'm down with that. Go follow Marcus. If you want some free nuggets,
Free nuggets, no Coca-Colas though.
No Coca-Colas.
I'm not gonna give you
I
Coca-Colas.
ain't gonna give you no Coke.
fries. But I'll give you some nuggets.
free nuggets of wisdom. But dude, I was thinking about this. That's really awesome because we live in a time where social media is so prevalent, and like Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat, things of that nature, it's all free, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could follow, yourself included, you can follow a ton of people that can give you information and motivation and stuff like that on social
yourself
media
with inspiring things.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So I just think that's really cool how you do that just because you like to, and that's awesome. But it's free, you know. You don't have to do that. You're not receiving anything from it, just from besides the satisfaction of, you know, people seeing it and learning from it. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my next thing, it kind of goes on the whole videos thing. So for those of y'all that go and follow Marcus, you'll notice that he's a little vulgar. every time I'm around some of my family members, they mention oh, Marcus, you know, he's pretty vulgar. So I'm sure you've gotten some flack, especially growing up in this area, for that. So I just wanted you to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, yeah, I was labeled as a bad kid growing up. A lot of people judged me, kind of painted me with the wrong picture, and of course I have my shortcomings and whatnot, like we all do. But what you have to understand about me is, like I mentioned earlier, I come from a military background. Not personally, but my father has done a tour in Iraq, a tour in Afghanistan, been in his entire life. My papa did 2 tours in Vietnam. My other grandpa was a Marine in Vietnam. My uncle did a tour in Iraq. I come from hard men that curse, that drink, that live a hard life, that have seen things that carry pain and grit. And I had a struggle a lot as a kid. I grew up in a trailer park for a lot of my life. Like things weren't easy for me. So I have an edge to me. And people feel that it's a very polarizing thing. I mean, and even just looking at me, right? You, the viewer, can't see me, but I'm 6'4", muscular male, covered in tattoos, got a big Viking beard, and
Go check him out on Instagram.
Check out his script. You won't
Right.
be disappointed.
like I look like a hard guy because I am. I have that warrior mindset, and that is very polarizing. A lot of people love me for that. A lot of people love my F-bombs and and my perspectives, and some people don't, and that's okay. You don't have to like me. If you don't like me, that's cool. I don't really care if you like me. I want you. What's more important than liking me or not liking me is interpreting the message I have.
Yeah.
Please don't get caught up on the minutia, on the F word, on the, oh, he offended me there. He said this one thing I don't agree with. It's all right. Like you're never gonna agree and accept everything another person does. Like, right? We're all individuals. I wouldn't expect you to. But look deeper than that. Don't get stuck on the surface. Look for the message present and find value there. And that's going to make your life better. Like, why would you choose to get upset over something? Like you have, again, going back to the choice. You can choose to get upset because I said fuck, or you can choose to have a better life because I'm providing a valuable message. That's your choice.
Yeah. Yeah, and me and Will, we talked about, that's literally the last thing we talked about in our last episode, I think, was like, we are the ones that give words like that the power to offend us.
Yeah, and not even necessarily curse words. It can just be anything that somebody says to you that offends you, or you take the wrong way, that's not actually how they meant it. It's just the way that you think about things that are said and that people say to you or say to in general is just all about the way, your mind is comprehending it.
Yeah, and the thing is that I feel like, and I've seen this within you, Marcus, it's like when you're around people that that it offends them and you care enough about them, you don't want to get on their nerves. Like, you're not gonna go out of your way to curse.
Of course.
Like, that's not the point. But on Instagram, that's your box.
That's me being me.
That's your box.
If you don't like it, don't follow me.
Exactly.
And that's back to it again. That's the beauty of stuff like that is they don't have to follow you. Nobody has to do anything. He's just being who he is. But I recommend following him. But that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
And another thing you said about you don't have to like what you do, but like get the message and things like that is, I always think it's cool. You don't have to like somebody. You don't have to like what they do, but you can respect them. You can respect what you're trying to do. You can respect the craft. You can respect the emotion and the emphasis and the effort that you're putting into something, even if you don't like it.
Yeah.
You can always respect somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time we live in, man, because with information and how it moves, I mean, you can reach, for example, like you said, there are kids that they ring true looking at my stuff because they've grown up in a similar situation that I have, or they're into things that I'm into. But there's also kids that relate to you because they just feel like you've been where they've been. So it's like we have a channel talking about social media where it's so selective as to what you can watch and what appeals to you. So for the viewer, it's good, but also for the person that's putting it out, you're able to reach people like that. Whereas you go back in the, before the social media era, it's really hard to do that. You've got to, okay, what can I do to make something that will appeal to everybody, but still get me out there, And it's like now it's in a time like no matter how specific the craft or the trade or the skill or performance or whatever it is, there's an audience out there to listen. You just got to find them. And social media is that channel.
That's true, man. It's true. It's a not a strange time we live in. Well, it's kind of strange, but it's an interesting time we live in.
A beautiful time.
A beautiful, interesting, strange time.
There's no more beautiful time than the present.
That's right. That's right.
Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. That's why it is called the present.
Yes, sir.
Kung Fu Panda.
Yes.
Oh, dude. I'm down with that though. Dang, son. This is a new high score, Gary.
Yeah, I knew it would be. We got 3 people talking. I haven't talked really much this podcast.
No, dude, I haven't really either, but that's the whole point, man. Is
Yeah.
when we have guests, we want you to feel them. Obviously you can't see them, but we want you to envision what they're talking about. We want you to, really take in what they're saying. And by them talking more than us and everything like that, I think that's the way to go.
Everybody has a story to tell, and when you get somebody to tell that story, there's an audience, which we have a massive audience.
Massive, dude.
You can learn from what they have to say. You can see into their life. You can see that this person is really like no different or than me. Like they're not super special. Like you were saying, people like to get in that fixed mindset. Oh, that's innately given to them through genetics or whatever it is. And that's exactly what we're trying to do with this podcast. Like Marcus, I mean, he's had to overcome obstacles to be in the position that he's in right now, experience the things that he's experienced, to become and to further become a profound individual. He is creating a profound life, and we want to show the audience that you can do that as well. And the way we do that is we bring in these profound people and we let you explore their mind through casual conversation.
Yeah. And I think that's also what we're trying to do is we want to find people that are different than the average Joe. Not necessarily better than anyone else, but that are a little, not tweaked, but just different in their mindset or their attitude or anything, just to shake it up. Because variety and change is how I learn the most anyway. If I just keep doing the same thing, reading the same thing, looking at the same stuff, I'm never gonna, stretch the brain. To me, it's like you have a glove and you haven't even put your hand in it yet. It's just sitting there. And then, you put your hand like halfway in the glove and you kind of stretch it out a little bit and you're like, oh, okay, here we go. So then by the time you get your whole hand in there, it's all stretched out, and when you take it off, the glove is a little bigger than what it was before. That's how I see like your brain, like or like your stomach. It's real small to start, but then you start putting some knowledge in it, it expands, and you might lose some every once in a while, but it's still stretched out. It's a little bigger than it was before, you have more capacity.
Yeah, definitely.
So, anyway, that's what we're trying to do with the guests, man. We just want to, basically what we're saying is we want to get interesting people and
let them inspire you.
And let them just do their thing.
Exactly.
Because I'm not that inspiring or interesting.
Yeah,
you inspire me. You inspire me, Will.
Dude, thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
You inspire me sometimes.
Well, anyway, yeah, bro, we're definitely the high score.
Gonna cut it off.
We're gonna finish her up. But one thing I wanted to ask you, Marcus, before we wrap her up, is if there's one thing that you could say to somebody if they were never going to see you again, never listen to you again, what was one thing that you would tell them that you've learned that you would want somebody else to know?
You have the power. You dictate the quality of your life. You are in complete control when you give up the games you've been playing, the excuses you've been making, just all the bullshit, man. You have to realize that you are greatness. You are powerful. You are capable of achieving all the things you wish to achieve. And I truly, authentically believe that. This isn't just motivational mumbo jumbo. That's the truth. So it's really that simple, man. The only person holding you back in life is you. Once you
are your own limit.
That's right. Once you realize that, you can do whatever you want in life. You can become whoever you want. You can do whatever, man, and you can be an amazing, inspirational person that helps to uplift all those around you. You constantly, people don't realize this, but you are constantly influencing the people around you. Like, we always think about changing the world as being some huge endeavor. Like, I've got to cure cancer. I've got to end starvation in Africa. I've got to stop police violence. And while those are big things, no one man can achieve that.
Yeah.
But what you can do is take control of your life and improve yourself. And through improving yourself, you're going to improve the life of all those people around you because you're going to have a more positive influence on them, right? You're going to have better interactions, deeper connections. And through that, by making yourself better, you're going to make all the people you interact with better and literally change the world just like that. You have the power. Do it.
You hear that? Y'all hear that?
You got the power.
Man,
Hey. That's what it does. What it does next in the song,
Okay.
man.
that's pretty good, though.
Okay,
Dude,
well,
man,
it's
that's legit. That's all I got.
yeah. This is a good one. This is a good one, guys. I know I'm saying this at the end, but go and listen to it. Oh, you've already listened.
I just did.
Yeah. No. Well, I guess we're gonna put the nail in the coffin.
Let's put the nail in the coffin, Gary. Give them the social medias.
My social medias is Gary the Great 96. That's on Instagram, and then on Snapchat, I'm Gary Gairy.
And on Instagram, you can find me at Will_Pennington00 and on Twitter as The Scavenger 23. Also, we are Casual Conversation Podcast is on Instagram at Casual Conversation Podcast. I repeat once more, at Casual Conversation Podcast. Marcus, hit us up with your social medias.
So my Instagram is King, King _ Merk, MERK, and then another underscore there at the end. That's where I post most of my content. That's the best place to find me. I also have Snapchat at Muzza King Merk, MUZZAKING MERK. That's more me just messing around and being dumb. Follow me on both. Let's connect. Tell me what you thought of the podcast, and I'd love to meet all y'all that I don't know. I would like to say before we hit this final nail in the coffin how grateful I am for both of you for inviting me onto the show, for entertaining me here, for allowing me to use your medium, your podcast, to hopefully have a positive impact on those around me, man. I've been looking forward to this for well over a month, like a long time. It's great to be here. I was nervous as hell when I first started, but y'all made me feel right at home real quick, and it's been wonderful connecting with y'all too.
Has it been casual?
It feels casual. I got my leg crossed, man. It's real
Heck
casual.
yeah.
Man, I've that means a lot that you said that, because the whole reason we did this wasn't to get millions of views. It was for the people that actually want to listen. We don't care if we have 50,000 people listening or 5 people listening. If we can portray a positive influence and message that somebody can take and use in their life, and that's what we're all about, man. So, man, we really appreciate you coming on. It was an awesome episode. I'm glad we got to do it. So, with that being said,
Gary out.
later.
Done.